So after my 29 video diaries of bike packing Scotland's Islands and Highlands, I thought I would add a day 30 for those of you who might be considering doing something similar, and that is how I got my electric bike back to Dublin via multiple train and ferry connections. Probably not of interest to everybody on the channel, but it was a bit of an adventure in itself, so let me tell that story. The story starts in Oban, where the train arrives a couple of hours late, which means the crew have worked too long a shift. So the train they send back to Glasgow can only have 2 carriages on it and is massively overcrowded. Then about halfway there, they decide they can't go all the way, so they swap us all over with the train that's coming from Glasgow. That's a hopelessly overcrowded platform, with everybody kind of trying to push and shove to get a place back on the other train. And of course, there's only a couple of bike slots per train, so that was also the challenge of trying to find the right carriage for the bikes. These 2 massively overcrowded trains were also ones where you have to hang your bike vertically off a hook in the luggage area. Electric bikes are quite heavy. Everything was really crowded, so I ended up taking a fair bit of skin off my knuckles, but got to Glasgow for my watch to tell me I was getting less exercise, retaliated by having a very big meal indeed, with a couple of courses, and then left the bike locked on the street over Glasgow. It actually survived fine, and then next morning was another very hearty breakfast, and the next train, which was taking me to Ayr. This one had plenty of space, wasn't bookable, but that was grand because there wasn't any issues with it, except when I got to Ayr, there was only a 15-minute transfer for the train to Cairnryan, and in order to get to the platform that train left on, I had to physically lift the bike up and carry it over a bridge running over the other platforms. That's with all the panniers on it, by the way, so it probably weighed about 35 kilos. Anyway, from Ayr, the train down to Cairnryan, thankfully was not very crowded. Got there to discover it was absolutely pouring rain, and I think I had about a 10-kilometre cycle along a pretty busy road to get to the ferry port. So in this particular ferry, you go into the passenger waiting area, and then one of the crew walks you on board to the vehicle area, and then you go up onto the passenger deck along with other vehicle drivers. It's a huge ferry, and the crossing to Belfast is comfortable. At the other end, they strangely enough let me out once most of the lorries were out. Then it was the cycle to Belfast train station in the rain. I was delighted, as you can see, to get on board. Then a celebratory wine and bag of crisps, and finally making my way back down to Dublin.